Hi everyone, welcome to my week 2 of my 30-day challenge. I promise I will show you my planner thing. It's actually Tuesday and I didn't start the vlog yesterday. I've no idea why. I think I was starting the other vlog. But yeah, I was really pleased with losing the £3 last week, and thanks so much for all your encouraging comments. I really appreciate that. I think posting on here does keep me quite accountable. We've got the dogs this week, so I'm hopefully going to be doing a bit more miles, and yeah, keep going with the healthy eating. I really enjoyed all my food last week, so I think that's really important. We did a food shop yesterday, so we're kind of well stocked up, and I'm just going to cook some jacket potatoes, and I think I'm going to do a veggie lasagna as well whilst the oven's on, because I like to try to be a bit frugal. But the jacket potatoes at lunchtimes last week seemed to really help me. So whilst we're in pottering around this morning gardening, I thought I'd get the cooking done because it's relatively easy. I do need to make the mince, well, the veggie mince mixture to layer up the lasagna with, but that's fine. I can multitask. So yeah, hopefully another good week. I think for me anyway, with anything like this, I start off well and usually I can manage a couple of weeks and then the motivation starts to wane a bit. So should be all right this week, but we'll see. I was reading the comments and somebody said when I held up the mask, the face mask at the end, they thought I was going to hold up a bar of dairy milk, and much as I would love to treat myself with a big bar of dairy milk, I don't buy it because I just cannot be trusted. So yes, but that did actually make me laugh a lot. But anyway, I'm going to get on with this and I'll show you it when it's done. These are all washed and ready to go in. So for jacket potatoes, I'm not quite sure how long they take. It depends on the size. I just sort of bung them in and check them when I remember. And I've done wedges as well because we're going to have those tomorrow, and I'll just reheat them tomorrow. They've got oregano, paprika and pepper on them, so I'm going to stick these in the oven and go and drink my tea. Potatoes are all cooked, so I'm going to let them cool down and then I'll pop them in the fridge. Okay, here's my planner thing. Already I've been scribbling things out, and it says we're having jacket potato and beans tonight, but we're not because there's loads of pasta left over from yesterday, so we're going to have that. I've got the rice thing that you haven't seen yet. You might have seen it. Anyway, I made a rice concoction with the soya chicken pieces. And it's not chicken, it's pretend chicken. And I made enough of that for a couple of days, so I'll be having that for lunch. Just prepping some stuff for the next couple of days' lunches. So I've used the pretend chicken soya stuff from Lidl. I've got rice, brown rice in there, and then I've got some, just loads of different veg, some soy sauce, rice wine vinegar, and a little bit of sweet chilli sauce. And I'm going to have a portion of this now for my lunch. And then we'll have the leftover pasta. Got like a fajita mix veggie thing for tomorrow with vegetables, the lasagna. I did put down Friday and Saturday for a barbecue and Sunday for a roast, but I'm not sure about this because the weather forecast is a bit iffy again, so we'll have to see. And then yesterday, so this always starts off really, like the first day I eat loads of different things, and then today I'll eat probably that again, but because it's not anything different, I'm not going to be writing down anything new, I don't think, today, unless I might have an orange today, so I'll be able to write that down. But obviously lunch and dinner's the same as yesterday, so it's going to be the same things. But I've got different stuff to have, so I'm hopeful of filling this up. So that's the plan roughly. JP means jacket potato, and I need to write these in here and what fillings I'm going to have. But it's kind of, it is, I know I said I need to stick to my plan, but I have to be able to be a bit flexible as well, because there's no way that I'm going to throw food away. You know, with a bit of extra salad, there's enough pasta to do us a meal tonight, and you know, there's no way I'm going to say, oh, look, we're not have that, we'll have jacket potato and beans instead. No chance. So I'm just now cooking, let me show you, the base for the, steamy, for the veggie lasagna. So I've got, I don't know if you can see, I've got celery and peppers that were left over from in a jar, and courgette in there, and I'm going to put some seasoning in, and then I'm going to put the veggie mince in, and then I'll layer it up. My lovely friend Paula gave me a decent size dish, so I can now make lasagna, which is really good. And I know that like the official advice, as it were, for the 30 fruits and veg a day do include spices and herbs and stuff like that, but for me, I'm trying to make myself eat as many different things, you know, adding things to my salads and stuff like that. So I probably won't, you know, I eat loads of spices and herbs and that kind of thing anyway, so I won't write all those down because I'm constantly adding them. Maybe I'll just use one of the 30. I'll just put herbs and spices because I don't have time to write them all down. And like I say, it's about me trying to actually think, oh, hang on, can I have a bit of cauliflower with that or whatever? So I do know that that they count. I'm just not counting them for my little challenge. Yeah, I'll show you everything when it's finished, when it's ready. Okay, I've layered this up and I'm going to cover it with foil and cook it for a while. And then I'm not going to do a white sauce because I can't really be bothered. And also, apart from once a week eating some mozzarella light, I'm not really eating cheese. So I don't want to make a cheese sauce. And I also don't want loads of like milk either because I'm not having too much dairy. So I'm going to top it with tomatoes and mozzarella light. This looks very yum. I can't wait to have this on Thursday, I think. Look at that. Looks good. It's Thursday and I just thought I'd do a bit of a midweek catch up. I've got my little, yeah, I think I showed you this. So I'm getting on quite well with the 30, right the way down here. And the miles are going a little bit better this week. So Monday was 2.5, not great. Tuesday 4.5, yesterday 4.6. So that's good, I'm pleased with that. And obviously that's from 2 dog walks a day. So yeah, so far so good. Yesterday I walked to the shop because we'd run out of bananas, and as soon as I went in the shop, I forgot to tell you this, Martin, there was donuts, and I thought, oh, I could buy, there was a pack of 2, I thought I could buy those and we could have a donut each. But I was on the phone to my mum and I said to her, can you talk me out of buying the donuts? So she did, and I was really pleased. But I did have last night some crackers and marmalade, which is not really part of the plan and not really what I need to be having at 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. But hey ho, keeping it real here. So yeah, hopefully I can have a good day today, and I will see you in a couple of days' time. I'll show you all the food and show you the weigh-in. It's Sunday now and I am going to show you some food pictures. So this week it's not been as easy. I think the motivation is waning and I have stuck to my food plan. But believe you me, if we'd had anything in the house that I could have gone off the plan with, I would have done. And I haven't been as plant-based as I would have liked to this week. I think like we had a barbecue and things needed using up. You know, I've got a cupboard full of like tins of tuna and things like that, and I don't want them, you know, to go to waste. So I think moving forward, I want to try to get back to more plant-based. I have been eating a lot of veggie and vegan meals this week. You know, it hasn't all been meat and fish and things, but I'm going to. One thing I did want to say was that with me, I love bread, and as you know, I've been making my sourdough and I've got some in the freezer, but the way that I lose weight the best is number one, eating loads of vegetables and fruit, and number two, not eating a lot of bread. And so I've got some ideas moving forward for next week for my kind of plant-based breakfasts that don't involve bread. So, but I need to prep. I need to do some meal prep. So that's going to be moving forward. But the only bread I've had this week was a bread roll with a chicken burger when we had the barbecue, and it did trigger me a bit, to be fair, because I had one and then I wanted another one. And I said to Martin, why would you don't have two burgers? I never would have two burgers. I won't go to a restaurant and order two burgers. You just wouldn't do it. So I had to really dig deep, because we did have some more bread rolls. It was like this morning, I could have easily had a bread roll. I didn't, but it wasn't easy. Thinking back to the Slimming World days is when I didn't used to have a lot of bread. So yeah, I need to continue with that. So yeah, you've seen the food pictures, you've heard that was the other thing. I think I might have already told you this. I went to the shop one day to buy bananas, and I really wanted to buy donuts, but luckily I was on the phone to my mum, so I said to her, I really want to buy donuts, and she was like, no, you don't need to. So I didn't. But I think if I hadn't been on the phone to her, I possibly would have. Yeah, so I got on the scales. Oh no, let's talk quickly about the miles this week. Last week I did 19.4, and annoyingly this week I've left my phone at home on a couple of the dog walks, so it hasn't clocked all of the miles. But it's Sunday today, and so far I haven't actually put down today's miles, but so far this week I've done 22.2. So I'm not going to hit the 30 miles, but it's up on last week, so I'm really happy about that. And the other good thing is I have started properly doing my exercises again in the morning. So this is all going in the right direction. Let's not even talk about swimming. That hasn't happened at all. So scales, yes, I got on the scales, and so at the beginning of this week I weighed 13 stone 8, and I got on the scales this morning and I've lost another pound, so I'm 13 and a half, which I'm so pleased about. I was listening to a friend on a Facebook, I'm in a Facebook group called Melanie's Wellness Warriors, and I was listening to a lady on there who I think she's a little bit older than me, and I don't know what size she is. She always looks amazing. She's a yoga instructor. She goes to the gym. She goes for walks. She lives in Canada. I think she might be English though, but I think she's lived in Canada for a long time. She's on the larger side, but like I say, always looks amazing. And she was talking about weight loss, and saying that she never weighs herself, and she goes by how her clothes are feeling, and also she was talking about strength and her gratitude for how strong her body is. And I think it really hit a chord with me, because I think it was quite an important thing for us all to think about, you know. my body is quite strong. My back can be iffy, but you know, my health in general is very good, and I am grateful for that. However, and she did say that a lot of her friends do weigh themselves, and I think, you know, if you have never been overweight, it's hard to understand, but you have to keep trying, you have to keep going. If I stopped trying and planning and writing things down and being aware of what I was eating, I would put on weight for sure, 100%. There's no two ways about it. And the reason I want to lose a bit more weight is for health. I want to go into my 50 being healthy and strong. I like that. I do like the strong. I'm taking that forward with me. But yeah, I do need to keep an eye on it. And I bought some ice lollies. In the summer here, I like to have like an ice lolly after my lunch. And I used to buy the mini ice creams that were like the little mini magnums, but they, number one, they're dairy, and I'm trying to cut down on dairy, but they really trigger me. And I'll buy a box of like 6 in, and I'll have one at lunchtime, and so I'm going to have one each lunchtime, but then they call to me in the evenings. Whereas the ice lollies don't. I don't count calories, but they are about 50-55 calories each, and I'll have one after my lunch, so it's good in terms of the glucose goddess not, you know, spiking too much because I've already eaten my lunch, and that just satisfies me then for the afternoon. So that's gone well, and I'm glad I sort of remembered those. And I'm not saying that I'll never ever have an ice cream again, but it has to be a rare treat for me. It has to be when we're out, when the time's right, not buying it here, because like I say, I just eat them. I see people buying like big boxes full of kind of treat foods, and it's great if you're disciplined enough. But if I had anything in the cupboards, I wouldn't only have one a day. I'm not like that. They would call to me. And I'm still laughing about the big bar of dairy milk as the treat. So I'm going to show you my treat now. And sadly, it's not a big bar of dairy milk. But I am this afternoon going to treat myself to a nice coconut foot mask. And I'm going to carry on next week and hopefully lose a bit more, be strong, feel healthy and energised. And yeah, that's the aim here. I don't think there's anything else. I haven't actually done a plan yet for next week. I'm going to do it probably this afternoon, or certainly this evening before we go shopping tomorrow. So yeah, that's it. Another pound gone, 13 stone 7, and I am really pleased. Oh, the plant points. I'm up to 28. Is this the right week? Yes. I'm up to 28. I've still got 2 to have, and I don't know if I've got anything different. So I don't know, that might not get done this week. I'm just trying to think what I've got. I could have some beetroot. That would be a different thing. And have I put pak choy down? Because I've got some pak choy. There we go. I'll have some beetroot with my lunch and some pak choy, and that will be 30 different fruits and vegetables. So that's good. Anyway, I've rambled on for long enough. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you again on Sunday for the weekly vlog. Have a great week, everyone, and let me know how you're getting on in the comments below. Take care. Bye.